What is going on, guys? Good evening. I'm that guy, Dan96. Welcome to Prepared. We're getting ready to fly Blue Streak 5483 over to Myrtle Beach from Charlotte, so let's jump in the flight sim here, and we'll get stuff going. Hope you guys are having a good night. We're flying on VATSIM, so you can follow me on VATSIM, and if you load up in Charlotte, you can hear me and all that good stuff. So let's jump into the sim. All right, here we are. Get that audio turned up there for you. Welcome to the flight deck of November 574, November, CRJ 900. Right here, I haven't done anything. I've done the fuel and payload. It's been loaded in the aircraft. I, however, don't have any of the numbers or anything like that, so let's jump into the FMS. All right, we are at Charlotte. I'll take that, pop that there. Flight plan, Charlotte to Myrtle Beach as Blue Streak 5483. Jump that into the flight number there. We'll be going off of runway 36 right today in Charlotte. The current weather in Charlotte, winds are 3... Oh, that's actually kind of old. It's updating now as we speak. Winds are 330 at 9, gusting 17, 10 statute miles. A few clouds, 8,000 feet, so nothing crazy. So we'll be off of runway 36 right. We are departing on the Queen 3 departure. Unjam transition, and from there we're just going direct to the ILS. I'm expecting the ILS runway, I think 36 is what we're doing. Jay, what's up, man? Nice to see you. Glad you are here this evening with us over to Myrtle Beach. I'm pretty sure we're going to be on the ILS runway 36, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and expect. I'm just going to expect vectors to that. We can execute that. Now going to the perf init. Let's see, on board today, I actually don't know what I set up for my passengers here. I think I had... I'm actually going to end up doing... I'm going to run over to here and check it on here. I think I got 70 passengers, 770 on the cargo, and 8,000 pounds. So I got 70 passengers at 185, 770 on the cargo. Oops, that's not what we wanted. 770 on the cargo, and we've got 8,000 pounds of fuel. Beautiful. We'll be cruising today at flight level 200. Can execute. And ground weight is going to be 62.7, so it's going to end up being about 63, and a ground weight of 71. So I'm going to go ahead and check our V speeds here, so we can actually go ahead and take care of the V speeds now. If we jump back to... what are we, 71. Okay, so if we come over here, we're 71,000 pounds. Let me check my speed cards here, so we can put this over to V-speeds. V1 is going to be 135. We're going to be doing a flop 8 departure. So we're going to be doing 135. If I get that to click over. 135, 135. Yes, we are on VATSIM this evening. We are. Go over on VATSIM, you'll see me. Blue Streak 5483. I actually already got my PDC from the controllers. V2 is going to be 147. And a V target of 193. So we're going to have that all set up, ready to go. V2 plus 10 is 157. We're going to go ahead and set 157 as my speed. Cool. So I've got that. I'll have to check my PDC here in a hot second here. Charlotte Myrtle Beach, maintain 8,000 feet. So we're going to go ahead and maintain 8,000. We'll set that up there in the autopilot there. Runway heading, I believe, off of this is going to be 003, but I'm pretty sure off this departure we're going to fly a heading of 025. Double check that. And yeah, we'll be flying a heading of 025, so I'm going to set 025 in now. Got that speed set, altitude set, everything's looking good. I'm going to jump over into my CRJ manager here for a second. Trim is going to be 5.1. So we're going to go ahead and set that for departure, 5.1. It's being finicky. Come on. 5.1. There we go. 5.1 is set. Our clearance is actually going to be transponder 2037, so if we jump into radio, I can put 2037 and 2037 on both sides. That way there's no issues there. All that stuff is looking good. I can jump up top, open up the APU door, and crank the APU. So here you go, the APU is coming online here. I'm actually going to turn on terrain. I'm going to MFD menu, put that on. Right side, we're going to give them VNav. Alright. So there we go, the APU cranked on. You can actually hear the air conditioning now starting, so we can jump into this thing here, the whatever you want to call this, and I'm going to dump this off, but really quick. Getting ahead of myself. There we go. Okay, now we can kill the ground power, turn all that stuff off. I have all the aircraft closed up and all that stuff. I didn't go crazy into the getting this plane ready to go and all that kind of stuff. So that's looking good there. We have our PDC. Expect flight level 200, 10 minutes after departure. Or clit off 36 right, transponder 2037. All that stuff is good. We got a clearance, so we are going to get ready for pushback here. And we'll give them a call when we are ready to taxi. So for all of you here, you can see we're over here on the Echo terminal. And plan is to just push out tail right, and then we'll go on down to 36 right. So let's go ahead, call GSX over. Prepare for pushback and departure. We're going to do American Airlines. Tail right. No engine starts. I'm going to go ahead and crank on my transponder now. APU is started. We can actually run the before start checklist. So logbook required documents are checked and on board. Crew oxygen masks are checked. 1790 PSI. Parking brake is on. Fuel quantity 7,000 required. 7,900 on board. Altimeter is 29903 set. Departure briefing is complete, and the CAS is checked. Before start checks are complete. We are good down there. Let's go ahead. Dump those on. That can go to standby on that. We're good there. Parking brakes are released. We're going to go ahead and flick on the FO's clock. 2217, we are off. We're actually out. And we're good to go ahead and start the engines, so let's go ahead and start number 2. Number 2 is cranking. We're waiting for 20% on the N2. We can go ahead and get the fuel going. 19 and 20. There's our fuel. Engine is coming online nicely. Waiting for the ITT, everything to stabilize out so I know we've got a good engine start, and we do. Alright, let's go ahead and crank number 1. Oops. There you go. Yeah, Jason, the rudder pedals when I have the nose wheel steering off, the rudders aren't supposed to work, but because GSX is pushing me back, it spaz them out. Parking brakes are set. Looks like we got a good start now on number 1. And I'm happy with all of that. I'm just waiting for them to disconnect before I start enabling all my hydraulics and all that good stuff. Alright, so they're unlocking the gear. Can't arm the nose wheel steering yet or anything like that, unfortunately. We've got to wait till everything's pulled away from the aircraft. Alright, so we're good, so let's go ahead. Dump on the hydraulic pumps. Windshield and probe anti-ice is good. All that stuff is good. Nose wheel steering can go on. Thrust reversers. Check the rudders. All that stuff is looking good. Go outside. Check the flight controls. Flight controls are good. We can run the after start checklist. Fuel check, valve is checked. Anti-ice is off. Rudder is checked. Nose wheel steering is armed. Thrust reverser is armed. And CAS is checked. After start checklist is complete. So let's go ahead, drop flaps 5. And we're going to call for a taxi here. You'll have to let me know how the sound is for the ATC. I don't have... it's all running through one channel, so it may be super loud for you guys. Just let me know, and I can turn it down as needed. So I'm going to go ahead and call for taxi. Actually, you know what? Let me see what the ATIS is really quick.
Ground control will assign runway with taxi instructions. Expect tarmac off the ground runway 36 right, 36 center. Notices to airmen. Bird activity in vicinity of airport. Attentional aircraft. Has weather information for Charlotte area available from hazardous and flight weather advisory service, flight watch, or flight service stations. Operate transponder with remote seat on the left. Taxiways and runways. Include your call sign in the leadbacks. Upon receipt of your ATC clearance leadback only your squad code. Advise on official contact. You have information, Charlie.
Alright, we've got information, Charlie, so I'm going to go ahead and call for a taxi right now. Hey, nice to see you, man. Glad you're here. We're about to call for taxi as soon as I get a chance to.
Station calling, say again the call sign.
United 232.
United 222, Atlanta landing west, welcome aboard.
You?
Atlanta Center, Blue Streak 5483 on the ground in Charlotte. Ready for taxi. We have information, Charlie.
Blue Streak 5483, taxi 36 right to Charlie, cross 23.
Taxi 36 right, Charlie, cross 23, Blue Streak 5483. Alright, brakes released.
Atlanta Center, Delta Flight 298.
Let's get on our way over to runway 36 right.
Delta 2298, clear to land 36 right.
Clear land, Delta Flight 298.
Taxi checklist, flaps 8 degrees required, indicating 8 degrees. Takeoff data is set. Trims, green centered, 5.1. Taxi checklist is complete. Next checklist will be the before takeoff checklist, and we will take care of that when we get closer to the runway. So, we're heading on over now. Kick my view up a little bit.
Atlanta Center, United 222. What runway is can I expect for arrival?
United 222, expect visual approach 27 left.
Roger, 27 left, United 222.
So we're cleared to taxi down to 36 right via Charlie. It's going to be a pretty quick taxi in terms of all we got to do is just go on Charlie and it's all the way down. Which is pretty nice. Long story short, I learned yesterday, and it actually happened on one of my streams. Atlanta Center just went offline. Yeah, you can't land on 36 right. That's a bad idea. There is some sort of invisible object on the threshold of 36 right, and yeah, if you try to land, you'll hit it and be smashed into the ground. It happened on one of my streams. Obviously, that video never made it to the light of day because I had to make sure that never went out to YouTube. But I was trying to come in yesterday from, where was I coming from? From Wilmington, North Carolina. And I came over the runway, everything was going good, hit the runway threshold, bam, smashed into the runway. It was great. You'll have to ignore my traffic. I have PSA traffic right now just running in the background. And you're going to see them up there. The CRJ-200s are essentially on fire in my sim. They emit all sorts of smoke and whatnot. Just the issue when you try to use aircraft that are not made for prepared V4, but... So I've got traffic landing on 36 right. That's actually VATSIM traffic. I was cleared across 2-3. The strobe's on while we cross an active. And yeah, Atlanta Center is missing. So, when we get down to 3-6, I'm probably going to end up just chilling for a hot second while I try to figure out where he went. And then I will figure out what we're going to do from there. Because, yeah, I don't know where he went. He just randomly went offline. But we are ready for departure. We can get down there, we can depart. What I'm probably going to end up doing is when I get down there, if he's not here, I'm just going to go over to 22.8 and just say I'm departing 36 right and get going. Because I don't feel like waiting around for someone that may never show up. Eating, I would love to, but I've got work, unfortunately. Today's my last off day. Tomorrow night, I go back to work, and yeah, I work 2:30 in the afternoon to 1 o'clock in the morning, so 10 and a half hour days, 4 days a week, and yeah, I unfortunately don't have time to fly on Friday night, which I really wish I did, but that's just what happens, I guess. But yeah, unfortunately, I cannot. I'd love to. Alright, so we're just going to go over to Unicom because I don't know where he went. He just kind of disappeared out of nowhere. So I'm going to Unicom. I'm going to let him know I'm departing 36 right. That is not an actual aircraft in front of me. That's just AI, so don't worry. I'm going to taxi through him. All these aircraft over here are just AI aircraft, so do not worry. They're not actual people. And we're departing 36 right. Ah, Atlanta Center's back now. Okay, so since Atlanta Center is back, I'm going to make a left. I'm literally going to make a little 180 here and call him holding short of 36 right. That way he doesn't get mad at me or anything like that, so I'm just going to make a, like I said, make a little 180 and then just call him, let him know. It's better to do that than to just take off and have them be like, oh, I didn't clear takeoff. Blah.
United 222, my apologies, I lost my internet connection for a second there. Descend and maintain 12000 Atlanta altimeter 3003.
Oh, yeah, 12000, 2003.
Booster kit 483, ready to go, 36 right.
Blue Streak 5483, flight heading 025, 36 right, clear for takeoff.
Flight heading 025, clear for takeoff, 36 right, Blue Streak 5483. Alright, clear for takeoff, we're going to fly heading 025 on departure.
Good evening, this is Caleb 475 Heavy with information echo.
KLM 475 Heavy, Atlanta Center, score guidance.
Alright, take 2. We're going to go for takeoff now.
KLM 475 Heavy. Descending to plate level 240, passing plate level 330.
Alright, let's go flying.
KLM 475, Roger, score guidance.
Takeoff thrust is set, 2230, clock is started. $80 knots.
Block 2137, KLM 475.
V1 rotate. V2. Gear up. Speed hold. .400 feet, heading select.
Blue Streak 5483, radar
1,000 feet,
contact, stay altitude.
speed 200. Passing 2,000.
Blue Streak 5483, climb and maintain flight level 200.
Climb flight level 200, Blue Streak 5483. Now we're pitching down to intercept 200 knots. We can go ahead and get the flaps cleaned up then. And he has cleared us all the way up to flight level
Blue Streak
200.
5483, turn right, proceed direct icons.
Direct icons, Blue Streak 5483. So we're direct icons, we can go ahead and go flaps up. Speed 250.
Okay, that's
Climb thrust.
475, Atlanta's landing to the west.
And we are direct to icon.
Descend and maintain flight level 200.
Nope, that's not right at all.
Runway 26 flight, descend and maintain plate level 200, KLM 475.
What did he try to clear me to? Actually, not 100% sure. Oh, I also forgot to do that. Oops. Alright.
Delta 2159 in the actually Memphis center's offline. Radar service terminates, frequency change approved. Good evening.
I'm continuing the turn. I'm assuming he cleared me direct to my first waypoint. I'm going to put that in and fly it. In the real world, I definitely would ask and be like, hey, that's not right. But just for this, I'm not going to do anything. Got to put the autopilot on. The reason I'm pretty sure he cleared me direct to Humpy or Queen, which is on my SID, is there's an Icons 3 departure, which is almost identical to this. And he just may have gotten confused with what departure I was flying, which is okay. They're both to the south. Everything should be hunky-dory. I really don't think it's much of an issue. Usually I would ask and be like, hey,
KLM 475, descend and maintain 12000.
I'm pretty positive what he was having me do. Nate, what's up, man? Nice to see you.
Descend and maintain 12000, altimeter 30.
Passing through 8,900, coming up on 9,000. Now once we get to 10,000 feet, we can increase speed to 290 knots. He cleared us to 2.2. I gotta set that in there. Or 200. And there's 10,000 feet. Speed 290. Cool. We can go ahead, get those off. I'm a mess. That's there. Let's go ahead. And everything is looking good. Unfortunately, Jacksonville got offline, so it doesn't look like we're going to have any ATC for my landing in Myrtle Beach. That's okay. Not a big deal. I usually don't fly on VATSIM anyways, so it's not that much different. Alright, so I'm going to mute my mic for a second, crack my drink so you guys don't hear that annoying noise you hear when you open up a can of pop, and I'll be right back. Alright, much better. Got some Dr. Pepper. Gonna be a good night. So there's 13,000 feet. I'm gonna see if I can get the fasten seatbelt sign off for this flight. I don't think I'll be able to. I've flown it a ton of times, and I kind of know you kind of can't. What I am going to do, however, I'm going to take, since there's no ATC, I'm just going to dump that in there. That'll actually be a little bit nicer to kind of get us towards Myrtle Beach, and then we can vector ourselves out as we go. The other thing that we will end up doing is I'll have to check my descent down to Cha-Cha for 3.6, so I'll have to see when this descent actually picks up to about 1,300 feet per minute. I will go ahead and change it, but until then, I'm not too worried about it.
United 222, contact Atlanta for approach 127.9.
So there's 16,000.
United 222, contact Atlanta approach 127.9.
Roger, 127.9. Sorry, I missed it. My son walked in. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Street 5483, Jacksonville Center is now offline. Radar service terminates and frequency change approved. Good evening.
Have a good night, Blue Streak 5483. See you. Alright, so we can go over to Unicom now to 2.8. And we're on Unicom now. I'm checking something with my stream. Alright, it seems to be better. I can go ahead and select standard on all my altimeters. There we go. going to actually end up refreshing my stream here in a second. That should go ahead and make things better. Yeah, I actually have an issue here with my computer where I don't know what it is. We're actually going to speed up to 300 knots at cruise. But when I get, like, when I'm flying through clouds and stuff like that, it actually wasn't my internet that caused that entire, like, crash thing you guys saw. It like, overloads the CPU, and then the CPU can't render out the output. Like, going through this cloud, it might happen again. I actually don't know. I'm about to find out. But I tend to get that every now and then with my CPU, and I don't know why. It went away for a long time, and it came back. So I'm watching to see if it happens again. Like I said, it actually wasn't my internet at all. It was just the CPU couldn't do it. I don't know. We'll see. See what happens. So we're at 20,000 feet. I gotta check here. Yeah, I mean, when I get to my top of descent, that's actually going to be my top of descent. So I'm gonna leave the fast seatbelt sign on. We're flying through some clouds. Could get some random clear air turbulence and, well, not clear air turbulence, but turbulence from the clouds and whatnot. So I'm gonna keep the fast seatbelt sign on for the flight. And our top of descent's in about 20 miles, so kind of doesn't make any sense to turn it off, because it's going to go right back on again. So let's go ahead and give you guys a weather update for Myrtle Beach before we descend. Current weather right now in Myrtle Beach. Winds are 290 at 6, 10 statute miles. Clear skies, temperature 7, dew point -4, altimeter 294. It's looking like a really nice day down in Myrtle Beach. I'm going to bring my speed back to 290 for the descent. So goal right now is to maintain 290 knots. And we're going to maintain 290 throughout the descent. You can see our top of descent's coming up there. That's because if we come down here, it looks like our vertical speed right now is hovering right around 1,100 feet per minute at unjam, or actually at my top of descent, which is actually on top of unjam. We're going to be descending at about 1,100 feet per minute. I will start a slight descent right before our top of descent at about 200 to 300 feet per minute. So once we hit the top of descent, I can ease into the descent, and it's not just a straight dive to 1,100 feet per minute to try and catch my my VNAV profile there. So we're going to set a lower altitude. The approach, the ILS 36. Touches 1,600. It's got 3,500 in the sim. I'm going to set this down to, let's say, I don't know, 2,000. I guess I'd be happy with. It's vertical speed. Let's start a real slight descent while I put in the rest of the altitude stuff. So there we go with 2,000. We've started a nice shallow descent. If I jump in my FMS here, you'll see about 1,100 feet per minute. So I'm going to go ahead and start bringing this down. Start coming back on the throttles a tad, because we are going to pick up speed, as this aircraft does not have auto throttle. So I got to sit here and manage the throttles the whole time. Part of the reason I really love this aircraft. You can't sit here and just daydream. You actually have to pay attention to what you're doing and fly the plane. So we're going to go ahead and check the FMS again. Right now it's showing about 1,200 feet per minute, but we're actually coming back on it. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to keep my 1,100 feet right now. Coming through 18,000 feet, altimeter 29904. We've got 2994 sets. The ILS, because my radios are just not working in this plane. The radio stack I have just doesn't work, and trying to tune the radios in this plane is just difficult to do on its own, so we'll do it this way. ILS is going to be 111.9. Approach course is going to be 357, which I can take care of in just a quick second here. When we get back into, when we get a little bit closer, I can take care of the course. I'm going to switch off of FMS 1, switch it over to Nav 1, and fly the approach that way. So we're going to go ahead and take care of all that course stuff once we get a little bit closer to the airport right now. We're still a little ways out, so. Then coming through 10,000 feet, we're going to go back to 250 knots. This is version 1.0.6.0 of this aircraft, I believe, is the current version, and the version I'm running. It actually made a lot of improvements to a lot of stuff. My performance has been just a lot, I don't want to say better, but smoother. The plane definitely seems to just perform overall. It's just more smoother. Before it was kind of, it have its moments, and after this, it seems like it's been doing a lot better than it has before, so I definitely like that. They removed the worst thing about this plane. The click spot for the HUD that used to be in front of you here is gone. Even though it still shows up as a click spot, it actually doesn't drop the HUD. Thank God. The only way to drop the HUD is to actually click up here. Which is great, because I hated the HUD, because Blue Streak and PSA, they don't have HUDs. Envoy doesn't have HUDs in their CRJs. SkyWest doesn't have HUDs in their CRJs. I don't know why Aerosoft just decided to put the HUD in by default for every single aircraft. It should have been the other way around. I'm so happy it's just gone. I don't have to look at the thing anymore. It doesn't drop down in front of me. So happy. I realize, like, Lufthansa and everything that they modeled the CRJ after uses the HUD and everything. That's Europe. I don't fly in Europe all that much. I fly in the US. I fly for PSA. I don't want the HUD, and thank God that thing is gone. I don't know why we're struggling so much tonight. This is usually not an issue, but we are struggling a lot, and I don't know why. I don't know what the struggle is. I don't know why it's having its moment. It just is. But we're a little bit better. I mean, if I'm ever going to have these little bit of hiccup issues, I'd rather have them now, chilling at 14,000 feet than when we're on final. So I'm okay with it. It is what it is. You know, not much I can do. I really gotta put some money aside and try and get a better internet. I can only stream at 200, I think it's 2,000 bits up. Oh, encoder overload. Very nice. I can only stream at like 2,000 bits up. I need more, like 5,000. And yeah, so I definitely need to work on getting a better internet in terms of just speed, because trying to stream with only doing 2,000 up is kind of difficult. So if it starts doing a thing, just refresh it. It'll be better once you refresh it. Hopefully it'll be fine by the time we get ready to land. But if your stream starts having a moment, just refresh it. That'll probably end up fixing the issue. So we are going to be coming up on 10,000 feet now. I'm going to set 250 in, because I don't want to go over that. We're coming up on 10,000. I'm going to drop all the landing lights now. I'll also dump the logo light on. That way I don't forget any of that stuff. Check in on our descent here. Doing a little bit better. We can come back to about 1,000 feet per minute. Dump that off 100 feet. So now we can come back at 1,000 feet, and we're looking like we'll do a pretty decent job of hitting our points here. Let's see how far out we are. And we're still a little bit of a ways out here, coming through 10,000 feet. So we're looking good. I'm happy with it. So my goal is going to be right around 240 knots. I do have 250 set because I see that as my, I don't want to go over that kind of mark. So we're coming back to 240. So right about there, I'm happy with that. Right around, like I said, about 240 knots, between 240 and 250. As long as I'm in there, I'm happy with that. I'm going to be coming through 10,000 feet here. I'm going to give the flight attendant chime. That way they know we're through 10,000 feet. They can start getting themselves prepped. I'm going to put on some of these lights. It's starting to get a little dark outside. There's 10,000 feet. We are going to take a look at our landing speeds. Let's take a look here. I should have done this before I left. VRUF 137. So I'm going to come down in here and actually set these speeds up. So I have a VRUF of 137, which means I have a V approach of 142. So I'm going to set my target now to 142. My V2 go around is going to be 145. Sorry, my VFTO is 193. 145 V2 go around. And then V1, we can just drop all this stuff back to 90. Cool. So I've got that in a VRUF of 137. So that's looking good. How we looking? Showing 800 feet per minute. That's fine. I'm going to keep my descent. Actually, we'll just drop it back to 800 feet per minute. I'm okay with that. We can run the descent checklist. The pressurization is set. Altimeters 2994 set. Landing data set. Arrival briefing complete. CAS is checked. Descent checklist is complete. You usually do this before landing, but I don't want to forget, so I'm just going to arm the thrust reversers now. That way that's taken care of. I don't have to worry about it. We're all good there. I'm going to push to sync heading, drop into heading mode, select Loc 1. Course is going to be 357. We're still a little ways out, so it's not going to be popping up quite yet. But if I can get this to go to 180, I can just select 3 clicks, and that should be 357. So now we're on heading hold, and we're switched over to Loc 1 on the nav source. What I'm going to end up doing once we get a little bit closer is I'm just going to turn this into kind of like a downwind and then loop it around to land. It should be pretty nice. I should be able to click the autopilot off a little ways out and hand fly, which is always a good thing. I love hand flying whenever I can. Kind of sucks that we don't have anybody on VATSIM. I was really hoping we were going to have somebody, and I could have been talking to someone throughout the approach, but unfortunately we didn't. But, hey, that's what happens. Here we go, course 357, India Bravo, Sierra Quebec, 111.9357. We're looking good there. So we do have the localizer set up, and it is on the ILS for 3.6 in Myrtle Beach. ILS decision height's 200 feet. I would drop that in, but for some reason it gives me minimum callouts at 200 feet, 150 feet, 100 feet, and 50 feet. I don't know why. Don't ask. I don't think that's supposed to happen. So I don't even set that. I just call minimums myself. And this approach should be pretty nice. It's going to be out over the ocean most of the way. Ricky, what's up, man? Nice to see you. Glad you were able to stop by this evening, check out my arrival into Myrtle Beach. Ricky, you know this route, Charlotte to Myrtle Beach. It's like one of my favorites. It actually is. When I have like a go-to route that I want to fly and I don't know what to do, this is it. I fly Charlotte, Myrtle Beach. I love this route. The scenery is awesome. The flight time is great. I love it. Connor, what's up, man? Nice to see you. Glad you were able to stop on by. You're just in time. We're getting ready to land in Myrtle Beach. We're coming through 5,000 feet. Oh yeah, Connor, this is it. This is the big hangout, I guess you could say. At least I hope it is. Try to make it. Try to make it that way. Let's see. How are we doing here? 4-7. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to keep 800 feet in. That should get us all the way down. Cha-Cha right now is looking like 1,600. But then there's Porky here at 1,600. So if I can hit 2,000 and then I can kind of loop it on in, that'd be preferred. Myrtle Beach should be just off our left. Should be right out over there. I think so. Or is it over here? That's supposed to be like right over here. So right now we're maintaining about 240 knots. Give us a little bit of that space so we're not totally on 250, and if we go a knot over, we're therefore breaking airspeeds and whatnot. So 240 gives me enough buffer room, so I feel comfortable with it. Bring that range down here. Yeah, Connor, we actually were able to talk to Atlanta Center when we came, when we were on our way in, or on our way out of Charlotte, rather. And it was pretty good, but I see my sim encoder overload. Yay! It's because I'm at 100% CPU for some reason, because OBS is killing my CPU. Should be a little bit better. Yeah, we just had a little bit of an encoder overload there. It's okay. Just refresh the stream if for some reason it acts goofy. Just refresh it. I'm thinking about something is wrong with my OBS about how however it comes through, however it gets compressed and sent over to the stream is just not good. I'm thinking about going back to my Elgato that I had for a while. So I'm thinking about just doing that. So I'll probably have to just mess around with the Elgato tonight, because it's starting to get ridiculous now. I'm having too many of these issues. Speed's going to come back to 200 knots. And I haven't had these encoder overloads for a while. I'm running an i7 whatever. But yeah, I don't know why I'm having those issues. I really shouldn't be. Not with the CPU I'm running. So I have a feeling something's wrong with my OBS, or it's just freaking out. So I'm thinking about messing around with my Elgato and fixing that back up and using that, because it's ridiculous. It's stupid. So we're slowing back now to 200 knots. I'm actually going to descend to 1,600. I'm going to put that vertical speed in a little bit to try and get us down. Zoom in a tad more. We're going to go flap 1. Got flap 1, waiting on flaps 8 here. I'm going to give that as soon as we level off, and then we'll just kind of cut the approach. Cut the approach in nice and tight. Alright, let's go ahead and get that heading in there. Start to turn to heading at 080, flaps 8. Select my VREF of 137. That's set. I'm going to maintain about 180 knots. Go flaps 20. Airport should be just off my left here. I actually see it right there. So we're at 1,600. Let's go ahead and take this autopilot off and let's hand fly it into Myrtle Beach. Autopilot is off. Doing my best to maintain 1,600 feet. And localizer's coming in. Let's go gear down. There's the runway looking very good. Flaps 30. Overshot it just a tad, bringing it back to the right. And flap 45. Alright. Look good. Landing checklist, thrust versus arm. Landing gear down, flaps 45. Landing checks are complete. It's at 1,600. I can get this back to roll and pitch. Alright, I'm going to mute the mic for the arrival so you guys don't have to hear my sad yoke, and I'll be right back once we're on the ground.
Flight slow 200. Flight slow. Flight slow 100. Flight 50, slow 40, 30, 20, 10.
Welcome to Myrtle Beach. Make the right turn on, what is this up here, Alpha 4? Yeah, we'll make the right turn on Alpha 4. That'll be a better turnoff for us, because the terminal is literally going to be right in front of us. Alright. Go off, strobes can go off, all that stuff is looking good. Get that APU cranked. APU's door is open, APU is starting. We're going to Terminal A, so we're going to make a right turn here, and our gate's going to be right back where my cursor is, over there. If it was ever going to have a little moment to spaz out, I'm glad it's happening now. Alright, we can get these reversers off. And we're not going to have GSX because the airports are all, the parking spots are all messed up on this airport. It's still something I gotta do. Thanks, Connor. Appreciate that. And, yeah, I'll have to check. Actually, you know what we can do? If you stick around to the end, I can run a replay of this now because I have the new ChasePlane experimental version that has actually, it actually has a replay that works. So we're going to run a replay at the end. Assuming it all doesn't, my internet doesn't kill itself for the replay, but we will run a replay at the end so we can check that out. Let's go ahead and get these lights off. Can also go ahead, the pitot and window heat off. Don't need that anymore. And like I said, our gate's going to be right here. Alpha 2. We're going to park ourselves because, well, you know, GSX is broken at this airport for some reason. Or it's something like the gates don't line up. Like Alpha 2 for GSX is not Alpha 2 that I'm looking at here. It's something weird like that. I forget. Oh. Whew. Y'all didn't see that. Okay. And we'll stop it right there. Parking brakes are set. APU is running. Our engines are off. Hydraulic pump 3A can go off. The beacon can go off. Good. Good. Get the dome lights on there. Parking seatbelt sign can go off. And nose wheel steering can go off. Okay. Well, we made it. So let's go ahead and run this replay here. Because that's probably going to be the end of the stream. I'm probably going to just say bye as we taxi in after that landing. So let's go ahead. Let's get this replay going. And then, yeah, that'll be that. So let's go ahead get ChasePlane open. Show playback window. Alright. This is going to be trippy. Just give me a hot second. Cannot use replay system while vPilot's running. Oh, that's a nice little feature. Let me go ahead and disconnect before I go and make everybody mad on VATSIM. So let me go ahead. Mode C, disconnect. That's gone. Okay. Now we can actually run the replay. So, we'll start it from right about here. Like I said, give me a hot second. The plane... Or no, I want ready for taxi. So just give it a hot second. We're coming in now. We just passed through 500 feet. PC Drummer, what's up, man? Nice to see you. Glad you're here. We're watching the replay of my arrival into Myrtle Beach. And yep, we'll get one more view for you guys. We'll do the outside view here. Let me go ahead and bring that up for you. Alright, we will get an outside view for you guys. And then that will be that. Click play. Hoping this looks okay. Yeah, that should be okay. we'll do one more view. I want to say I can do one from the runway, and then that's probably how it's going to end up ending for the stream here. I do love this. This is a cool feature. I don't know if it's released on the actual ChasePlane that's out right now, but I am in the beta stuff, and this is one of the beta things you can do with it. So I think we'll end up doing this view. We'll kind of bring this up a tad, and we will replay, and then after that we will call it a day. Let's go ahead and boom. Should be close enough to us here. You should be able to see the aircraft arrive. Should be coming through here in just a second. Alright, I hear it coming. And there it is. Nicely flown all the way down off at Alpha 4. Good stuff. Alright, well guys, that's going to do it for Blue Streak 5483. Service over to from Charlotte to Myrtle Beach. I really did appreciate everyone that took time out of their day to come along and spend some time with me as we flew over to Myrtle Beach. So, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.